So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how do you create time, or how do you make time for building a business? How do you have more time, or how do you use your time and manage your time for the best results or the biggest results? So first of all, you cannot create any more time. Time and energy is limited. Your body is going to last only so long, and we are given in this life only a certain amount of time. You can influence it to a degree, but at some point this time will be exhausted. You can get money back, but you cannot get time back, is what Dan Pena says, and it's true. So how you allocate this time is very important, and that's the only power that you have. You have the power to allocate time. But I will get into strategies where you can have access to a lot of time, in fact tremendous amounts of time, or in other words, you will have the same amount of time as everybody else, but your production rate is going to increase massively. And what you want to accomplish in a month, in 2 months, 3 months, how can you reduce that and compress that so that you can accomplish the same thing much earlier? If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. I post one video every day on business and finance. So let's get right into it. Okay, I'm going to refer 2 books right now, and I'm going to give you lessons from these 2 books. One of the books is 80-20 Marketing Strategy, okay, and the other book is 4-Hour Work Week, okay, and I'm going to give you lessons from these 2 books, extremely powerful lessons that you can use to benefit. All right, and the third book that I would like to refer is also something I want to refer, is called Getting Things Done. It's on productivity. So these 3 books combined with each other have a very powerful combination. Okay, so let's talk about getting things done. So one of the strategies that the author recommends is to write down all the things that you have to do, small tasks, short-term goals, day-to-day activities, the things that you need to do, medium-term goals that you have to finish in a couple of months, goals that you have to finish in a couple of years, and then lifetime goals. He categorizes as different horizons. The ground level horizon is your cleaning the dishes, making the bed, all of those. A level above is completing the task from your office that you need to finish by the end of the week or in a couple of days, or your quarterly targets, yearly targets, 5-year goal, and a lifetime goal. Okay, you want to relocate to another place, all of that will come under that. So he says write down everything that you can, so that you understand the kind of things that you have decided you want to do. And once you write down everything, you will suddenly discover that you do not have the time to do all of it. So then you have to prioritize what is important, what is not important, and you will actually also find out that some of the things are actually not that important. So you remove those aspects from your life and you take a decision that right now, where I am, I'm not going to pursue them, and you just put it on the back burner so that you have this space. And this will create this sort of prioritizing your tasks, and removing them is a way to gain time, because you may be giving still time to those things which are not that important at this point in your life. You can attend to it later, but at this point these few things are really important. So now you have time for these 2 things. So this strategy is called elimination. You removed things. It's really you delaying things, but there are some things that urgently need to get done. Okay, you cannot compromise on those. You keep those as priority So that's called elimination. Okay, now let's talk about multiplication. So there are two ways to buy time. You can buy time using technology, and you can buy time by hiring employees. Okay, and now I want to get into 4-hour work week. So in this book, Tim Ferriss, who's the author, great guy and a great book. This book is about, people think this book is just about working 4 hours a week. That's not the case. This book was written so that what you are currently producing by giving 80 to 100 hours a week, how you can produce that thing in 4 hours a week. And the two primary strategies that are in that book is using technology and tools and websites, and using other people's time. So somewhere in this world there are people who are willing to do what you are currently doing, everything that you are doing, at a much cheaper price. You can give them a small check and collect a bigger check from someone. So one of the things that he suggests how to quit your job and start a business is, he says that convince your boss that you're going to work from home. And once you're working from home, you make a list of all the tasks that you need to do, and you delegate all those tasks to someone in India or Philippines, where people are willing to do the tasks. First of all, the living costs in these places are very low, so people can accept a lower salary and still live fine. So people are willing to get paid much less to do the work that you're doing. So suddenly, you wrote down all these tasks, you gave it to someone, and you are able to generate the same amount of money by delegating your tasks that you need to do. And all you have to do is write a small check and collect a big check. So this is one of the strategies, especially if you're in a job or you have a small business. You can document everything that you're doing. Okay, some things you cannot delegate, I understand that. Maybe those things you don't want to delegate because your employees can steal your business. But especially if it's an assistant working in India and your business is in Ireland, UK, Canada, USA, Australia, anywhere in the world, it's less likely to happen that this assistant is going to steal your business. But there are things that you cannot expose the assistant to. So those things, we can call them highly leveraged activities or high-powered activities. You can take control over that, but at least the remaining you can delegate. This is when it comes to business. When it comes to personal life, there are things like cleaning the dishes, doing the bed sheets. You will have to find someone in your locality to do it. If the cost is too much, there is still some time that is to be gained there. If you cannot gain that time right now, if you cannot delegate that, if you're not in a financial position to delegate that, at least the work stuff, you can find a way to delegate, outsource it to India, China, Philippines, where people are willing to do the same work you're doing at a cheaper cost. Of course, this is going to work if your work is done digitally. And if your work is not done digitally, maybe you can switch the industry, or maybe you can hire an assistant who can help you. So that's another strategy, is to buy time through employees. Now, somebody asked Elon Musk, how do you manage all of these companies? You have 3 companies, 4 companies, multiple interests in so many companies, and all of them are such big projects. How do you manage your time? It's just so unbelievable and all of that. Actually, it's not that unbelievable. If you go look at how many employees SpaceX has, how many employees Tesla has, you will understand how Elon Musk has time to run these companies, because these companies are actually run by all of these people. So, and not only the people, but the extraordinary technology that he has created. So he's able to accomplish such big tasks by leveraging other people's time and technology. And both these you get access through money. Okay, so which brings me to the next aspect, is that in order to delegate effectively, you will need to increase your income. So how do you increase your income? Right now you might be connected to one bank account, which is your company that you work for, and your boss writes you a check and you give away all of your time. So it's a pretty helpless situation. Or you have a business and your business is dependent on a few customers, or maybe a little more customers, but there are few. So if you're a business owner, then you're in a much better position. If you are an employee, you are in a really bad position, because you're giving up all your time for a very little money. And the reason this happens is because you're connected to one bank account. So how do you get connected to many bank accounts? And how do you combine technology with all of this? So to delegate through technology is easy, because technology is cheap. Okay, especially technology that you are now connected to YouTube, or there are many tools out there that can help you save a lot of time. You need to study about them. You need to study what areas of your business or your job can be outsourced to a person or a technology. And there are always value to be gained in that. But all of these are also very small levels of methods of gaining time. There is another method which is extremely powerful, and this is related to increasing your income. Because if you increase your income, you will have opportunities to delegate through technology and other people, and that's the way you will maximize and multiply the amount of time. Or let me put it in a better way, that is the way you will be able to allocate your time in a way that production just maximizes. So how do you do that? For this, I will recommend you reading 80-20 Marketing. I forgot the name of the author, I'm sorry, but the book is around the strategy that it's based on Pareto principle, that 80% of your results in the day, in the whole month, or 80% of your results come from 20% of actions. Okay, and 80% of these results come from 80% of the 20% of the actions. So you really have only a few things you're doing in the whole day which is producing 80% of your result. So most of your day is actually a fluff, unproductive. Okay, where your time is being wasted, you are doing things that actually does not produce revenue. And only maybe 1 hour or half an hour or 15 minutes, there are these very specific moments which were the most productive in the whole day. And if you take those 15 minutes and if you identify, the first step is to identify which of those 15 minutes are the ones which are like the cream of productivity, or which of those 1 hour is the cream of productivity. And you just take that and you stretch it all over the day, and suddenly your production is going to go crazy. Okay, this actually works. He gives an example, and I'll give you an example, and with this it will become more clear. He said that he was working a lot one-on-one with clients, okay? And he was doing sales one-on-one, he was doing everything one-on-one. And he was making about, I think, $30,000 a month, which is not a bad salary. And he said that one day he went and he did a public speaking. He was invited as a guest to speak in front of a public. And in that 1 hour, he made $30,000. So in that 1 hour, he made what he would make the entire month. And it just shocked him that, what if I just keep doing these public speaking, tours or this public speaking engagements more often, how much money would I make? So that's leverage. Okay, one to many. Using that 1 hour, he's communicating with 1,000 people. So that's a very leveraged activity that has a lot of power. You know, it's a powerful position when you are positioned in a manner that you are speaking one to many. Take anybody in your environment who's making a lot of money. You will find in most cases, those people are positioned with opportunities where they are communicating one to many. It's not a coincidence that my chairman, who was a CEO of a $3.5 billion company, is a great, fantastic public speaker. He is used to the stage. He has been in interviews which were one to many. He has been on stages which are one to many. And I have seen him, he's a pretty wealthy man, and I have seen him, opportunities just come to him. Okay, I have seen him in a way in such powerful positions where opportunities just come to him. People just call him and just present these opportunities. And he doesn't, I mean, he just gave a few hours doing this talk, and of course there's a preparation time also, but he did this talk and people from the audience that he does not know, they know him but he does not know them, suddenly calling him, emailing him, and bringing all these opportunities. In fact, the event that I met him, he was a public speaker there, and he had the most powerful position in that room because he very strategically positioned himself as the public speaker, and that generates so many opportunities. I mean, like, public companies reach out to him for advice. I mean, there is, royal family members he's connected with, very well connected with. I mean, he's just billionaires are contacting him, taking him out. I mean, he's just like a superstar in the region, and there is a reason why he's in one of the most powerful positions. And so I started to see a pattern that people who are high performers and people who are highest earners and people who produce the most are often communicating one to many. Now, there is another layer to this. Now you add one to many with technology. So you remember I told you about the author who made $30,000 in an hour. What he makes in 1 month, he made in an hour. Let's say that hour that he made 30,000, he also recorded it on camera and he put it on his YouTube channel. Now that 1 hour, first of all, was exposed with thousands of people, and then that hour is already given, but it can be monetized multiple times because that video he can post on YouTube and it can be shown to 30,000 people, 100,000 people, 1,000,000 people. Suddenly the leverage increases tremendously. His awareness in the market increased tremendously, and he has multiplied time because he's used technology. His message is continuing to grow and reach many people. He's reaching so many people he could not reach in probably 100 years if he went one-on-one. So that's the power of leverage. You got to leverage other people's time to do the small tasks that are non-revenue generating. I remember one time my girlfriend, she was washing the dishes and she had a business to run. So I just reminded her. I said, babe, how much do you get paid to wash the dishes? And then she's like, oh, fuck, I don't get paid anything. Or how much do you get paid to do whatever, small things like filling the water and all of this. You don't. And so you need to, as much as possible, you need to delegate those tasks and start engaging in highly leveraged activities like public speaking, starting a YouTube channel, or any area in your day where you can leverage it to be exposed in front of many people and get connected to many sources of capital, and that's how you multiply time, multiply production. For using that capital, the first thing you do is buy more time and delegate the sort of $50 to $100 tasks or $20 tasks or $5 tasks. Because those tasks are important, okay? You cannot just not do them. You have to delegate them. To delegate them, you need capital. To get the capital, you need to engage in highly leveraged activities. Get it? So once you have this kind of resources, then you can delegate more and you can buy more time. And you can keep freeing yourself initially from $5 tasks, then you can free yourself from $50 tasks, then $500 tasks, then $5,000 tasks, then $50,000 tasks. All of this can be delegated and you can find yourself climbing up on the ticket. And your opportunities can eventually, your time can eventually be positioned around $1 million opportunities, $10 million opportunities, $100 million opportunities, which is where I'm currently positioned, combined with some other things. So importance of leverage, importance of delegation, and importance of delegating the smaller tasks to avoid burnout, increase production, and obviously increasing your income and your influence and your power. So I recommend those books, Getting Things Done, 80-20 rule, 80-20 marketing principle, and 4-hour work week. I'll talk to you soon.